your daughter is 13 now, so probably she starts developing her own opinion by now.
Yeah, yes.
What did you think of your music?
Well, to be fair, like most girls her age, she's into One Direction. And Jessie J and any of that crap that gets, that Simon Cowell has
Promoting.
vomited forth upon the world. But yeah, I mean, she's cool with it. She came to see us in Cambridge recently. The forthcoming European tour, she's going to come out with her mother, my wife, to see us on a few shows. So, yeah, I mean, she's well aware of it. She's very proud of it, but it's not her thing. I mean, she'll look back in a few years' time and no doubt go, God, I can't believe I listened to that crap music. But
until now, you don't push her into another direction.
No. I wouldn't want to, because when I grew up, my dad was a really big reggae collector, and I think just because I heard so much of it, I never liked reggae. I hated it. In fact, it's the worst kind of music ever.
Still now, you think that?
Well, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So you don't want to get his collection when maybe if you...
I don't know if he's still got it. He had a massive collection. We used to have people come around the house all the time, like buying and selling and record collectors and whatever. But no, I don't even know if he's still got it or whether he sold it.
Do you know what your dad liked so much about it? Probably had discussions with him about it.
You know what? I don't. He obviously just liked the music and that, but he wasn't. He didn't have dreadlocks or anything. My dad was like a businessman. He just worked on computers actually. When computers were,
Still
nobody
there.
actually knew what they did.
Yeah. You have to be a scientist to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I actually saw an old documentary about the start of the band. I'm not sure if it was made by fans, but it featured some old interviews from you, and it also showed some old drawings that you made for flyers back in the days when you still did everything DIY. And I was wondering, I was actually quite amazed by it. So, do you still draw a lot?
Actually, not as a rule. I should do. I did a design for an emblem that we're designing that's associated with the new album, which was okay. Seeing as I hadn't really sort of put pen to paper in that style for some while, it was okay. But I sent it to another artist to make better.
Yeah, is it something that you would like to pursue a little bit more, or is it something?
If I had the time, there's a lot of things I'd like to do if I had the time. I'd like to. I started flying lessons, and got to about. I was 5 lessons away from going in my own plane on my own. Like a solo flight in a Piper Alpha, like 2-seater. Now that's scary, Yeah. Especially as it's 911 today as well, I mean, shouldn't let me near an airplane. I'm not going to blow it up, I'll just probably crash it. But yeah, there's a lot of things I'd like to do.
Yeah, did you have to cancel it, the flight, or will you pick it up?
No, well, the thing was, it was in an airport and I had to drive a long way to get there. And then some days you'd get there and, the wing conditions weren't right. And then it became a more accessible airport as well, so it was actually quite dangerous. I mean, I think the last flight I did, I was actually in the flight path of a Boeing 747 was coming down behind me, and it was like, oh shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine a little bit what it's. But do you feel that all your creative energy goes now into the band, or is there still something you do on the side to maybe, without having a?
Well, no, I finished a side project with. I might have mentioned it last time, called Temple of the Black Moon. With Rob from Anthrax, King, who's now in Godseed but used to be in Gorgoroth, Ice from Enslaved, and John Tempesta from The Cult, used to be in White Zombie. But we finished writing it. It's just a case because of 5 people in 5 different bands, all doing different things. It's just a matter of logistics and when we can actually meet up and put the thing to bed. What's the thing? Yeah, what's the thing that maybe you put into that band that you cannot put in Cradle? Well, it's generally more rockier, and I mean it's some thrash influences and that, but generally it's very big chorus, that sort of. So it's a bit of an escape, really, like a pressure valve being unscrewed, and it sort of got that thing out of my system. But yeah, the band is pretty much full on because we're theoretically a big band, and because of that, there's so much to do. I mean, we spent since like end of October last year writing the record. We've been in to record it for 10 weeks. Obviously, we've got the press. We've got a video to shoot on Saturday for the track "Frost on a Pillow." It's just, you think you have some, and then apparently I've got a month off, but I know it's not going to be a month off. It'll be a month doing telephone interviews and all kinds of other things, and preparing for the tour.